Stevie Nicks is not just a singer, she is an enigma, a timeless sorceress whose influence stretches far beyond music. Her ethereal charm has captivated millions, but what lies beneath the mystery? How does she live? Where does she find inspiration? And what about love, the passion, the heartbreak, and the men who couldn't hold on to her? But before we step into the world of luxury and love, we must first uncover the origins of her magic. Before she became the ethereal queen of rock, Stevie Nicks was a little girl with a wild imagination and a voice that could stir the soul. Born on May 26, 1948, in Phoenix, Arizona, she was raised in a household that blended creativity with discipline. Her father, Jess Nicks, was a corporate executive who moved the family frequently, exposing Stevie to different places and musical influences. Her mother, Barbara, was a dreamer who filled her daughter's world with fairy tales and fantasy, unknowingly shaping the mystical persona that fans would one day worship. But it was her grandfather, a struggling country singer, who gave Stevie her first real taste of music. At just 4 years old, she would stand beside him and sing duets, her tiny voice already showing signs of the haunting beauty it would one day hold. This wasn't just a childhood pastime. This was destiny in motion. Despite the constant relocations, one thing remained unchanged: Stevie's love for music. She carried notebooks filled with poetry and melodies, crafting stories even before she understood their meaning. By the time she was a teenager, music wasn't just an escape, it was a calling. But fate had one more twist in store for her. During her senior year of high school, Stevie met a young musician at a gathering. His name was Lindsey Buckingham. It was a chance encounter, but when the two sang California Dreamin' together, something clicked. Their voices melted into one, and without realizing it, they sparked a musical partnership that would change rock history. After high school, Stevie briefly attended San Jose State University, but academia couldn't compete with the pull of music. She dropped out, choosing uncertainty over stability, and alongside Buckingham, she formed the band Fritz. It wasn't glamorous. Long nights in dingy clubs, playing opening sets for legends like Janis Joplin and Jimi Hendrix. But it was a taste of the world she craved. Stevie watched Joplin command the stage with raw energy, witnessed Hendrix weave magic with a single guitar riff, and realized that music wasn't just about sound, it was about presence, emotion, and storytelling. She studied their performances, absorbing every nuance, learning how to captivate an audience not just with a song, but with an entire aura. When Fritz disbanded, Stevie and Lindsey refused to let go of their dream. They moved to Los Angeles, scraping by as a duo named Buckingham Nicks. The road was brutal, with low-paying gigs and rejection after rejection, but Stevie refused to give up. She worked as a waitress and cleaned houses just to keep their dream alive, a testament to her relentless spirit. And then, just as it seemed like their journey might come to an end, a single moment changed everything. Mick Fleetwood of Fleetwood Mac heard Frozen Love, a song from their self-titled album, and saw something extraordinary in them. It was an offer that would define not just their careers, but an entire era of music. The foundations were set, but true magic awaited when she stepped into Fleetwood Mac. When Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham walked into the world of Fleetwood Mac in 1975, they weren't just joining a band, they were about to rewrite rock history. At the time, Fleetwood Mac was a respected but struggling blues band searching for a fresh sound. When Mick Fleetwood heard Frozen Love, he knew that this duo had something special. But no one could have predicted the storm that was coming. With Stevie and Lindsey in the mix, the band transformed overnight. Their first album together, Fleetwood Mac 1975, was an instant success, introducing the world to a new, polished sound. But it was their next album, Rumors 1977, that turned them into legends. Behind the scenes, the band was crumbling, and Stevie and Lindsey's passionate but volatile relationship had reached its breaking point. While their love was falling apart, the music was thriving. Stevie poured her heartbreak into Dreams, a song that would become Fleetwood Mac's first and only #1 hit. The entire album was a diary of broken relationships, affairs, and betrayal, wrapped in hypnotic melodies. Rumors shattered records, selling over 40 million copies worldwide and cementing Stevie's place in rock history. But Stevie was never one to be confined. She had a fire inside her that couldn't be tamed, and by 1981, she was ready to step out on her own. Her debut solo album, Belladonna, was more than just a side project. It was a declaration of independence. The album soared to the top of the charts, proving that Stevie Nicks wasn't just a piece of Fleetwood Mac, she was a force all on her own. Hits like Edge of 17 showcased her signature rasp and poetic lyricism, solidifying her as a solo star. Leather and Lace, a duet with Don Henley, gave listeners a glimpse into her complicated love life, while Stop Dragging My Heart Around, a collaboration with Tom Petty, proved her versatility as an artist. Despite the fame and fortune, Stevie never lost the essence of what made her unique. Her music was more than just sound, it was storytelling. She didn't just write songs, she wove spells. Her lyrics dripped with mysticism, weaving tales of love, loss, and fate. She wasn't afraid to expose her pain, turning personal battles into anthems that resonated across generations. And the success didn't stop there. Throughout the 80s and 90s, she continued to dominate with albums like The Wild Heart and Rock a Little, while still reuniting with Fleetwood Mac for unforgettable moments like The Dance in 1997. Even after decades in the industry, her music never faded. Landslide, a song she wrote in her early 20s, remained one of the most emotionally powerful ballads of all time. Younger artists, from Taylor Swift to Harry Styles, looked to her as a guiding light, proof that true artistry never expires. But a rock legend isn't just about music. Financial power plays a key role in her empire. Stevie Nicks isn't just a rock legend, she's a financial powerhouse. With an estimated net worth of $120 million, she has built an empire that stretches far beyond music. Unlike many artists who fade into the background after their prime, Stevie mastered the art of reinvention, ensuring that her voice and legacy would never be silenced. Her fortune began with Fleetwood Mac's groundbreaking success. Rumors alone have sold over 40 million copies worldwide, generating hundreds of millions in revenue. And while the band's earnings were split among members, Stevie had another advantage: her solo career. Belladonna was a juggernaut, hitting #1 on the charts and selling over 4 million copies. This was only the beginning. Each new album, from The Wild Heart to Rock a Little, added to her financial empire, proving that she didn't need Fleetwood Mac to stay on top. But her biggest financial move came in 2020, when she shocked the industry by selling an 80% stake in her publishing rights for a staggering $80 million. Why? Because Stevie understands longevity. While artists typically earn from album sales, streaming royalties, and licensing deals, she took control of her financial future by cashing in on her songs at a time when music catalogs were skyrocketing in value. It was a strategic move that secured her wealth for the rest of her life. Concert tours have also been a goldmine. During Fleetwood Mac's 2018-2019 tour, Stevie reportedly earned around $200,000 per show, with the entire tour grossing over $180 million. Even as a solo artist, her ticket sales remain strong, proving that fans will pay top dollar just to see her live. Beyond music, Stevie has tapped into the world of merchandising and branding. Her signature bohemian style, flowing shawls, lace, and platform boots have inspired multiple fashion collaborations. She has worked with designers and retailers to create clothing lines that embody her ethereal aesthetic, keeping her influence alive in the fashion world. And it's not just clothes. Her merchandise extends to accessories, vinyl reissues, and even fragrance collections, ensuring that every aspect of her brand remains profitable. But what sets Stevie apart is her financial independence. While many musicians fall into the trap of mismanagement or bad investments, she has remained in control of her wealth. She has never been one to splurge on extravagant luxuries or reckless spending sprees. Instead, she has chosen to invest in the things that truly matter to her: her homes, her art, and her freedom. Her business acumen has ensured that she remains not just an icon of music, but a symbol of resilience and independence. Even in an industry that often discards its legends, Stevie Nicks has remained irreplaceable. With financial security, she crafted homes that became sanctuaries of creativity. Stevie Nicks doesn't just live in houses, she creates sanctuaries. Every home she has ever owned has reflected her spirit, a blend of mysticism, creativity, and solitude. Her spaces are not just places to rest, they are where she writes, dreams, and surrounds herself with the energy that fuels her artistry. Her journey through real estate began in the late 1970s when she purchased a Spanish-style home in the Hollywood Hills. This wasn't just any house, it became the birthplace of some of her most famous songs. Within those walls, she crafted lyrics under the glow of candlelight, letting the energy of the space guide her music. The secluded patio and vintage interiors created an ambiance of mystery, making it the perfect setting for a woman whose life was built on enchantment. As her career skyrocketed, so did her real estate portfolio. By the 1990s, she had moved into a Mediterranean-style mansion in Los Angeles, a grand estate that exuded old Hollywood charm. With dark hardwood floors, vintage chandeliers, and tapestry-draped walls, it was a reflection of her bohemian elegance. The home even featured a state-of-the-art recording studio, allowing her to write and produce music without ever leaving its walls. Years later, she sold this home to none other than George Clooney, proving that its allure was undeniable. Today, Stevie resides in Pacific Palisades, an exclusive neighborhood in Los Angeles. This oceanfront estate is a masterpiece of luxury and artistic solitude. The 7,000-square-foot property boasts 4 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms, and sweeping views of the Pacific. Here, she finds peace away from the chaos of the world, embracing the calmness that comes with watching the waves crash against the shore. The home is decorated with antique furniture, warm lighting, and intricate tapestries, creating an environment that feels almost otherworldly. But for Stevie, true comfort comes in the form of nostalgia. That's why she still holds onto her Phoenix, Arizona retreat, a property deeply connected to her roots. While Los Angeles offers her the stage, Phoenix offers her the silence. It's a place where she can step away from the flashing lights and simply be Stevie Nicks, the girl who fell in love with music as a child. It's here, in the Arizona desert, where she reconnects with the spirit of her younger self. Inside every one of her homes, the details matter. She surrounds herself with candles, antique mirrors, and walls adorned with handwritten lyrics. Each room is filled with the scent of incense, the soft flicker of lanterns, and the presence of art, whether in the form of paintings, music sheets, or the journals she's kept for decades. Every space she inhabits is carefully designed to inspire creativity, whether she's writing a song, reading, or simply reflecting on the journey she's taken. But Stevie's world isn't just about lavish homes. Her daily life is filled with creative rituals. Stevie Nicks has always been more than a musician. She is a storyteller, a dreamer, and a woman who finds beauty in life's smallest details. Her days are woven with rituals that fuel her creativity, keeping her mind and spirit connected to the art she has spent a lifetime crafting. At the heart of her daily routine is journaling, a practice she has maintained for over 40 years. Every night, she pours her thoughts onto paper, documenting the highs and lows of her journey. It's not just about keeping a record, it's about leaving behind a legacy, something she hopes future generations will read and understand. To Stevie, these journals are a time capsule, capturing the emotions behind every song, every heartbreak, and every magical moment. Her love for storytelling extends beyond music. Few people know that Stevie has also spent years writing fairy tales, weaving intricate stories filled with enchantment and mystery. One of her unpublished works, The Golden Fox of the Last Hunt, is a testament to her imagination. She has described it as a tale meant for her goddaughters and nieces. But the deeper truth is that Stevie has always believed in magic, not just in her music, but in the world itself. And then there are the shawls, those iconic, flowing pieces of fabric that have become synonymous with her image. But these aren't just stage costumes, they are pieces of history. Stevie keeps every single shawl she has ever worn, dating back to the 1970s. Each one holds a memory, a concert, a moment, a song. She has often said that one day she will pass them down, ensuring that the essence of her journey lives on. Beyond writing and fashion, literature has always been a source of inspiration. Stevie is an avid reader, drawn to mystical and historical novels. She finds herself lost in stories about ancient worlds, powerful women, and timeless romance. It's no surprise that her music often feels like a novel in itself, with each lyric painting a picture of heartbreak, longing, or fate. Another passion that fuels her soul is travel. While most people seek luxury vacations, Stevie seeks inspiration. Whether it's the haunting beauty of the Scottish Highlands, the Gothic streets of Prague, or the artistic corners of Paris, every trip feeds her creativity. She has often spoken about how certain places make her feel as if she has lived there for another lifetime, reinforcing her belief in fate and reincarnation. Despite her larger-than-life persona, Stevie finds joy in simple pleasures. She loves nothing more than lighting incense, sipping a cup of tea, and sitting under the moonlight in quiet reflection. She believes in energy, in vibrations, in the idea that the universe speaks if you are willing to listen. To the outside world, she is a rock icon, but in her most intimate moments, she is simply a poet with a candle, lost in her thoughts. But beyond her rituals, love and heartbreak have defined much of her journey. Stevie Nicks has never been just another rock star. Her life has played out like one of her songs, filled with passion, longing, and heartbreak. Love has followed her like a shadow, shaping not just her personal life but also her music. While many have tried to hold on to her, few could match the depth of her spirit, leaving a trail of legendary romances behind. At the center of it all was Lindsey Buckingham, the man who was both her greatest muse and her most painful heartbreak. Their love story began long before Fleetwood Mac, when they were struggling musicians chasing a dream. But success came at a cost. The very thing that brought them together, music, became the wedge that tore them apart. On stage they harmonized perfectly, but behind closed doors, their relationship was a battlefield. Stevie poured her pain into Dreams, a song that became Fleetwood Mac's only #1 hit. Lindsey, in turn, wrote Go Your OA, a bitter response to their breakup. Even decades later, the tension between them remained, proving that some love stories never truly end. Then there was Don Henley, the Eagles frontman who captured her heart in the late 70s. Their romance was intense, but like many of Stevie's relationships, it burned out just as quickly. Leather and Lace, one of her most iconic duets, was originally written for Waylon Jennings and Jessie Coulter, but as fate would have it, she and Don ended up recording it together, a song that perfectly encapsulated their dynamic. Their love was complicated, passionate, and ultimately unsustainable. But if there was one man Stevie truly considered the one, it was Joe Walsh, the Eagles guitarist whom she once called the love of her life. Their connection was deep, and their time together was filled with raw emotion. But rock and roll lifestyles rarely allow for stability, and addiction played a role in their downfall. Stevie has openly admitted that losing Joe was one of the hardest moments of her life, a heartbreak that never truly faded. Then came Kim Anderson, a name that still shocks many fans. Unlike her previous loves, Kim wasn't a fellow musician. He was the widower of Stevie's best friend Robin. Overcome with grief after Robin's passing, Stevie made a shocking decision. She married Kim, believing it was the right way to care for her friend's newborn child. The marriage was short-lived, lasting only 3 months, and Stevie later admitted it was a mistake born from sorrow rather than love. Yet, not all of Stevie's most profound relationships were romantic. Christine McVie, her Fleetwood Mac bandmate, was more than just a friend. She was her soul sister. In an industry dominated by men, they stood together, supporting each other through fame, heartbreak, and personal struggles. When Christine passed away in 2022, Stevie was devastated, calling it one of the most painful losses of her life. Love, whether romantic or platonic, has been the driving force behind Stevie's songwriting. Every heartbreak, every goodbye, and every moment of longing has been immortalized in her lyrics. Her music is a diary of her soul, and through it, the world has been able to feel every ounce of her passion, sorrow, and resilience. But Stevie isn't just about personal relationships, her heart extends to philanthropy. Stevie Nicks is more than a rock legend. She is a woman with a heart as powerful as her voice. Behind the stage lights and flowing shawls lies a deep sense of purpose, one that has driven her to use her fame for something far greater than personal success. While many artists fade into their worlds of wealth and luxury, Stevie has spent decades giving back, ensuring that her influence extends beyond music. One of her most personal missions is her work with wounded veterans. In 2004, she founded the Soldier's Angel Foundation, a project born from a simple yet profound act of kindness. After visiting injured soldiers at Walter Reed Army Medical Center, she was struck by their struggles and the way music seemed to bring them peace. She began gifting them preloaded iPods filled with songs, hoping to provide an escape from their pain. What started as a small gesture turned into a full-scale mission, with Stevie personally delivering these devices and spending time with those who had sacrificed everything. She never just sent donations, she showed up, listened, and made sure they knew they were not forgotten. Her generosity doesn't stop there. Over the years, she has supported major humanitarian efforts, including the Red Cross and the Special Olympics. Whether it's disaster relief or championing individuals with disabilities, Stevie has never hesitated to lend her voice to a cause that matters. Unlike many celebrities who use charity work as a publicity stunt, she has always operated with quiet sincerity, making sure that her contributions make a difference. Beyond philanthropy, Stevie has taken a stand for something that has shaped her entire life: women in music. Coming up in an era where rock and roll was dominated by men, she fought relentlessly to carve out a space for herself and for those who would come after her. She has mentored young artists, offering guidance and encouragement to the next generation of musicians. Taylor Swift, Florence Welch, and Harry Styles have all credited Stevie as an inspiration, not just for her music, but for her unwavering strength in an industry that often tries to break women down. But perhaps one of her greatest battles has been with addiction and mental health awareness. Stevie has never shied away from discussing the dark side of fame. She has openly shared her struggles with substance abuse, revealing that at one point her addiction had left her physically and emotionally drained. However, rather than let it consume her, she made the difficult choice to seek help. Reaching into the Betty Ford Clinic in 1986, she reclaimed her life, proving that even the strongest people sometimes need to fight their demons. By speaking out, she has helped to break the stigma surrounding addiction and mental health in the entertainment world. She has shown that survival is possible, that healing is real, and that no one is beyond redemption. Her story is not just one of talent, but of resilience, a reminder that true strength is not about never falling, but about always finding the courage to rise again. But what truly makes Stevie Nicks timeless is her legacy in music and beyond. Stevie Nicks is not just a musician, she is a legend, a force of nature, a